I'd like to call up the Borough West Easton Council meeting in order. Please rise to pledge allegiance, led by Chief Command.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Dave.
Mr. James.
Here.
Mr. Dees.
Here.
Mr. Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Nottling. Mr. Romana.
Here.
Ms. Lake.
Here.
Mr. Brazier. Here.
We have a quorum. Let the record reflect that Robert Lewis is calling. Approval of checks 16557 through 16589 and an online payment from general fund account. Need approval.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on these checks or this online payment? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. I need approval of check 2058 from the sewer fund account.
I'll make the motion.
In a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of deposits and receipts for May 2018. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of minutes from May 21st, 2018, council meeting. Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of the treasurer's report for May 2018. Motion to approve. Treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? Treasurer's report?
Treasurer, you got anything?
Treasurer?
Be more than happy to entertain any questions you have. My phone number, email address, and report.
They don't write, they don't call.
All right. You must be doing a good job then.
I assume so.
Thanks, Carl. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We're going to go out of turn. We're going to go out of turn right now, and I'm going to open up for public comment first. Then we're going to go into an executive session. Any comment from the public? Seeing none. Okay. Name and.
Right. Trudy Hargrave, 213 2nd Street.
Thank you.
What happened to that shooting on 2nd and Keystone? Is there an update on that? What happened there?
Do you have anything on that, name? I just got an email on it. I was just reading about that. Do you have any additional information?
All I know is, like we all know, that night, the state police were called, they responded, they picked up the evidence. I'm not seeing much going to come from it. I mean, I don't believe they're going to take fingerprints off the shelves and go, because there was no property damage. We think it was just idiots, or an idiot.
An idiot with a gun?
Shooting up in the air. Excuse me, Trudy, I'm trying to answer your question. Yes, an idiot with a gun. There are many of them out there. Okay. he shot a couple times in the air, we found the shell casings, called state police. They said they're gonna investigate, they didn't do anything. But I will say, it's nice to know Second Street has certain residents that weren't afraid to respond with their homes, so we were out there in force within minutes. So there's really nothing, you're not gonna get an answer about a conclusion, because I don't think the state police are gonna put a lot of time into it. That's the information I have, and that's all I can give you. If I knew more, I would tell you, because I live on the same street you do.
It's just sad that people have to go around doing that. And I guess that's the society that we live in today.
I agree with you.
We're just lucky that no one got hurt.
Absolutely right.
I mean, there's a lot of kids that live in that block now, and it would be horrible if one of those kids got hurt.
Yeah, a number of us came out that night and checked the homes for holes and cars, and we couldn't find anything hit, so. An idiot.
So,
Leon Stoll, 306 Second Street. Hank Colleen, are they going to, is he done now? Or are you going to fill that seat, or what?
That's our commission.
That's all I can say right now.
Okay. Any more public comment? If not, we're gonna close to go into executive session, and we'll come back out and let you know when we're ready to proceed. All right, we're out of executive session at 18:52. Engineers report?
Okay, I spoke to Doug. He says we should vote on awarding the Gerald W. Gross Park Sidewalk Project to Van Company Incorporated in the amount of $45,400. All of the funds are in. You've seen the plans, so that you have to formally vote to accept it.
Do we have a motion to vote to award sidewalk project to Bannock Corporation?
I'll make a motion.
And,
I'll second that.
have a second. Is there any discussion regarding this? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. And then the second item?
The second resolution, they've asked us to approve up to $4,000 to cover administrative costs for the sidewalk project. He talked to the contractor since then, and feels it won't be anywhere near that, but that's what he asked us to put down. That's the administrative costs. They had the first pre-construction meeting, they handle that, they do the inspections, they do the payment schedule, they verify the receipts, and all that kind of stuff. Which our grants never cover engineering costs.
This is our cost. This is our cost for business. This will be a resolution authorizing these guys up to oversee the project up to $4,000.
To cover administrative costs.
I make the motion.
All right. A second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Anything else from the engineer? Mayor?
Before I give a report, does the office want to make any comments on this weed spraying? I don't see it on the agenda.
Probably gonna be under new business.
Oh, I scribbled the office report.
Office report.
Yeah. This is really it.
Does council want to discuss that now?
We were going to do it under the office report. Thank you.
The first thing I want to pass out is the guardrails on East Street, 4th. If you haven't seen the guardrail up there, I'll give it to council, they can pass it around, and then we can put it in the back if any resident hasn't seen the guardrail. The other thing, a couple other things, is I asked Joan to get a quote from the monument company that did our World War I monument for that plaque. I asked her to give a quote to have World War II put on the World War II monument, and give a quote to council to see what that would cost to do that. I think it would be proper to identify what it is. And the other thing I have a letter from Henry Nodeline. It says, resignation of council seat. I will be moving out of the area in June and wish to advise you that I am resigning my council seat as of June 2018. I'll give this to the council president. In order to that to be effective, council has to make a motion to accept it. And then we have 30 days from that time to appoint someone to fill that seat.
We don't have to do that now.
You do not have to do that now.
You make a motion to accept the resignation.
You don't have to do that.
No, you don't have to. I'm making a motion to accept the resignation.
I'll second.
It would be advised not to.
Well, here's
We'll
what we,
wait for discussion.
right, just so we're clear that if you accept the resignation today, the clock starts running with regard to filling that spot. So frequently what's often done is you receive the resignation, you wait, you can put it on at a subsequent meeting, then you can accept the resignation, and then that buys you, and that provides you with some additional time to then make a decision as to how you want to fill that spot.
You have 45
And
days.
if we don't do that, at the end of the 30 days, it's automatically accepted.
Well, we have a motion and a second, so.
Well, here's my thinking. We need a full council. We need somebody with road experience since we lost Henry. If you want to wait the full time, you're talking 30 days or 45 days, then 30 days. You're going to be 2.5 months. For as much work as this council's been doing and has to do, I think we need to fill the council as quickly as possible. This is a small community with 1,257 people. 30 days should be enough time to find any interested parties, and every time you go through this, there aren't a whole lot to begin with. I don't know what an extra month and a half is going to give you as far as people responding. We've been through this how many times, and you get 1 or 2 people. It doesn't matter if you give them 2.5 months or 6 months. So if we have somebody that would be willing to do it in 30 days or 2 people, I don't think the extra time is going to buy you much more.
Well, if I could, let me make a suggestion, and then, of course, I don't know, so you guys, it's up to you. If you hold off on accepting the resignation, but indicate now that you're looking for people, say the next meeting you have, somebody is there, you decided this is the person you want to go with. Nothing prevents you from, in the beginning of that meeting, accepting the resignation, and then immediately filling that resignation spot that meeting, so you don't have a break.
I agree.
That way, if you need more time, you have more time. But if you have an immediate spot and you have that immediate spot filled, you can handle it that way too. That's my suggestion.
You don't have that.
You speak loud so everyone can hear.
We don't have that, if we don't fill this in 30 days, then we go into another mode. There's a.
Yeah, then it would go,
Person
to the,
appointed.
have we filled that
No,
spot?
we don't have.
And we don't have one of those.
We don't have it, so
In the history of this borough, when a resignation letter has been handed in, it was always accepted. In this council, especially since 2016, we have a full council, we have a hard-working council, and we want a full council again. I don't think we should wait around, stall time, like it was done years ago.
Well, let me ask the question. If I withdraw the motion, are we going to have a second meeting in June?
We haven't decided if we need that yet.
Then I'm going to keep,
All right,
I'm going to
okay.
keep my motion on the table.
Any more discussion on accepting Henry Nodline's resignation? All right, David, we should probably take a voice vote, just so we're sure.
Mr. Reininger,
Yes.
Ms. Lake,
Yes.
Mr. Romana,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Mr. Dees,
Yes.
Mr. James.
No?
It's 4-2.
4-2? All right, we got 30 days to fill Hank's spot. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's all I have for now.
Okay. Solicitor's report?
I don't know whether you want to handle this now or later, but we have the second conditional use application for West Easton 2 LP. The hearing was on May 14th. We have to have a decision within 45 days of the last hearing, which gets us towards the end of June. We may or may not have our next meeting, which is towards the end of June. So if Borough Council wants to address this tonight, we certainly can.
All right, so we have a few choices. We have a choice to accept the conditional use. We have, or the choice to reject the conditional use as presented.
So we need a motion.
We need a motion to either accept or reject.
I'll make a motion
To
to accept and reject.
reject,
Just one more time.
to reject the conditional use.
Vote?
So your motion is to reject the conditional use.
Accept or reject. And then you vote. No?
One or the other. You're rejected.
Just to reject it.
All right, so we have a motion to reject the conditional use of.
I second.
All right. Discussion? Pete, discussion? Anything to add to that?
I'm not happy about that, Mark, but they can leave anytime they want to.
All right.
I think there's still concerns out there that things aren't met yet.
All right. Bob, did you have anything to add?
I do not.
All right. So we're standing on the issue that our residents are able to leave unchecked. They had proposed some modifications to the original conditional use hearing, and we've read over and understand those, and we are deciding to reject the conditional use.
We're gonna take a vote.
We still in discussion?
Are we still in discussion?
Yes.
Sounds like you're making a decision.
No, not yet, not yet. I have issues with definitely with the number of residents. 176 is a huge number, and I think considering our population in the borough of 1,200, that really has a large impact on the borough and the traffic and everything else too. So, in addition to its location and close to the residents of the borough, maybe not in our best interest. Any more discussion regarding this? Dave, you need a voice vote, please.
Mr. Reininger,
Yes, to reject.
Ms. Lake,
Yes, to reject on the grounds of the safety of the community and the amount of residents. That would be a facility.
Mr. Romana,
Yes, to reject.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes, to reject.
Mr. Dees.
No. I was impressed by the improvements they made, and I'm more concerned with DUI people walking out of there freely than a treatment center, so I vote no.
Mr. James.
Yes to reject.
5-1 to reject.
CD by Wednesday. We had a bunch of back and forth paperwork. Resolution 25 in general, as previously arranged. We spoke with hiring summer help. His name is Brandon Moffett. He's been here a week. He's done really good work. We vote to approve him.
So Brandon,
Moffett.
we need a motion to approve, hire Brandon Moffett, summer help.
I'll make a motion to hire Brandon.
I'll second.
And then we have any further discussion?
He's done a really good job.
I think this discussion should be, we're gonna hire at the ordinance rate of $10 an hour.
We're gonna hire him at the ordinance rate of $10 an hour.
He was, wasn't
He's under 10 right now. Any other discussion?
I think you should ask Dane, since he's here. Is he doing a good job, Dane, catching on?
No, that's gonna be later. For now, we're gonna hire him at the rate, and then later on we'll do something.
We're talking to Dane, what kind of a job he's doing. Nothing about pay.
I understand that.
Because he's on probation, he's on probation, we haven't hired him yet, he's still on probation. So we want to get input from Dane, how he's done on probation.
Okay, he's here every day, 15 minutes before he needs to be. Fast learner, seems to be safe. He listens more than he speaks. He asks questions at the right time, so I'm impressed with him. I'm pleased with him. I can't convey anything else to you other than I think he's a good choice.
There you go. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Office, anything else?
You already know that the sewer CD came due yesterday. You guys are working on that, right?
We wanted, okay, we wanted to move to do the same thing with the general fund CD.
Is that official, or do you have to have a meeting about it?
We had a meeting about it.
And what amount did you want to put in, because you put the other sewer CD back into the checking account that matured earlier this year
Right.
and did nothing with it?
Right. We're moving it now. Robert, Bob,
Yes?
we want to roll the whole CD, the whole sewer CD into Pliget, right?
Well, we can keep it at the round amount. Unless you want to have the interest. Let's keep it at the 100,000. And I'll make a motion to go ahead and take the 100,000 at one of the chairs, roll back in there, put the rest into the sewer account.
Bob, the CD that's maturing now is 190,000
For the sewer.
for the sewer account, yes.
Okay, well, we were under the impression of something else. But yes, let's go with the amount that's going to mature and put it in the Pliget account for whatever they're going to offer at the time.
All right, so that's your motion, Bob?
Yes.
All right. Do we have a second? The motion is to roll the $190,000 CD, that's merchant CD that's about to mature into the Pliget. We're currently at 2 1/4 on our previous CD that we're rolling. So, do I have a second?
I think so. Second.
Do we have any discussion on that?
Is this a protected CD, guaranteed?
Yes. Yes.
They do have investment accounts that are not
And this, you said was a 1-year CD?
1 year, yes. Right now, as I stand in the exhibitors lobby at the conference, it's 2.41. That's not to say it won't go up in the next 2 weeks, whatever is secured.
All right. Do we need any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
I don't know if you guys know, vote on this, the weed control now. They're saying that what we thought was poison sumac is not. So if it's not, you still want to kill everything on the bank. There is poison ivy there.
Why-
Yeah, kill it. It's poison. I'm not saying that what we thought was poison sumac, they told Dane is not poison sumac.
It's poison ivy.
Well, they're separate. We thought it was poison sumac and poison ivy.
Oh, this is
Well,
what
since it's poison ivy,
So, I have a comment. Either one, whichever poison it is, it's a wooded plant and needs to be sprayed that kills everything that needs to pass.
What, did you have a comment, Dave?
What I was going to say was, this is what you and I discussed, once we got the estimate in from Shane Klein to take the trees down and to clear that.
Mhm.
They suggested that we spray the whole area, give it like a week or two, and they can clean out the area easier, and that they'll be able to clean it out better down to the root, because the stuff is dying off as opposed to not treating the area and cleaning it out live.
That's good.
I have a question. Shane's is coming in, and I'm guessing he's gonna do all the work at one time, pulling the dead stuff and pulling the shrubs and
They've
getting
already,
rid of the tree.
they've already taken the tree down and.
Don't hush me until it's
Sorry,
done. okay?
sorry.
All right, now what were you saying?
I said Shane has already come in and taken the tree down and the shrubs down because they were under the impression that the work was going to start on the sidewalk as of June 11th. So they made sure that work was done before June 11th.
Which are separate estimates.
Okay.
So this is in addition to the 700 for him to come and clear it after.
So we,
My concern, and I'm little in this environment here, is if we kill that whole thing, then you have no, the erosion and water runoff, but that's, I know metals.
it's, right, we saw poison, so hopefully this will
Yeah.
re-
And it says on here, caution with trees.
We would need a motion to approve 300 next, the manager spent $396 to spray this 9,000 square foot, this site,
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
okay? Any more discussion on this $396?
Now, when they spray it, do we have to kind of block that area
I
there?
was just gonna,
It's got to be there, got to be there for it.
Wait a minute, I saw what was
But
right here.
if they do spray it, they can kind of,
Yeah, when he comes, I'll have to, get with him right away and find out what the prerequisite is, so we don't have any issues
Right.
after.
They're all EPA approved and they're non-corrosive, non-flammable, and low toxicity to the animals. So we should be getting the MSDS sheets. So I would say they're environmentally.
what they said about Agent Orange.
we got to be worth it. All right, any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right.
Ayes have it. Anything else, Joe?
We do have an estimate for trimming the trees back along Spring Alley. I don't have the second part of that because we've had many complaints from the residents on Spring Street in regards to limbs the size of small trees coming down. I've also asked Shane to give us an estimate for raising those trees that are an issue. We haven't gotten that second part of the estimate yet.
She called, David didn't come until late today. The mom left a message, she's his secretary. Shane will not be able to get here when anybody else is here anytime soon. So she asked that Dane mark the trees that we want to take totally down, and then he can come in after hours and go through and look at it. We have an estimate to sort of clear and clean up the area. It's separate from now, if we're going to totally take down some, I guess, there's really, really big ones that are constantly drying.
All right.
So,
Good idea.
okay.
All set?
Oh, wait, no,
Okay.
I guess I'm good. We got in today the contract for the pole barn. I mailed it out to those involved, if everybody wants it, I'd send that out. I don't know, what should we do now? Vote on Gary Ice advertising it, or we discuss this? It literally just came in late this afternoon. We're going for the $60,000 to put up a basic pole barn, to do the cement. It has to be advertised with, what's it called? A wage, prevailing wage. There's a bunch of little tiny things that you have to put in. So I don't know if you guys want to do like we did up here, have them in charge of the paperwork, the administrative part of it, and then,
They're okay with taking the sign thing?
I haven't asked them because I literally got it late this afternoon, like 2:30, 3:30.
We're just going to write up for the whole barn building itself.
Right.
And do cement later. And there's one left over driveway, I believe. is in
I think
the
that's
plan.
what you mentioned there.
So we got a quote for the whole barn?
We got the 60,000, yeah. We got it for the big part, we were gonna hold it till next year, and then we put it in again and asked if they would, if we could just do the shell for now, so we have room to move everything.
So we just need a motion to have Gary Ice advertise based on these specs.
For the pole barn?
Advertise. We would need, because of the price, we would need,
No, we did.
yeah, we have to get bids, we have to put it out for bid.
Just those stars that seem to have it. But it would be, I would think it would be administrative cost, because it's not gonna be just advertising the bid necessarily, I would think. Although I guess they wouldn't have to, that would have to sort of work out. They wouldn't have to inspect it for one regular company, because they know what they're doing.
You want to make sure they advertise the specs from the CHA, whole barns. Because the size of the building is 40 by 64 by 14.
And we'll put in there, I would think, of something comparable, because maybe that's your own personal little thing. I don't know if we put a dollar amount on the administrative cost now, we have no idea what it would be.
On the sidewalk, when they came back and told us
Right,
they would
This
be
came in,
$4,000.
I didn't have time to get in touch with them or
Right.
check with them. At one point, they thought they should be doing the engineering of the grounds and all that. The fields, they install these pole barns, they know what they're doing there. We're not doing the water, we're not doing the sewer now,
Right,
which
we
we
just
were going to
want,
do before.
we just need the outside structure.
Right.
We need to secure outside structure, put our
Right.
stuff inside it.
Steve, you're thinking. No? No thoughts?
No thoughts.
Okay.
So-
We're going based off this quote.
We are going to use, not the quote, but we're using these specs. So,
Paul,
yes,
I need a clarification of what's going to happen. Could we give me that?
we are going to, I would like, for us just to have Barry Ice advertise this building we want to put out for bid. We want them to set this up and put this out for bid. So the cost of this is going to be more than $19,000, so we have to put it out for bid.
I think the state raised it to 20,100.
Well, regardless of what it is. So it's only going to be for the cost of advertising?
So far, yeah, that's all we need. We need.
Okay. So
We have.
nothing else except the cost for advertising.
Yeah, that's how we started.
Good enough, thank you. So
motion to have this ad put out for advertisement or put out for bid? That, and we're gonna use these specifications.
And Barry,
I'll make that motion.
Do we need to put a dollar amount on it?
I'll second the motion.
No, it's been,
Do we,
For the administrative costs? For various. Like the other one, we approved up to 4,000, can we put up to a number? Obviously, we don't have to see open ended.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Okay, hold on.
We're in discussion anyway.
Okay, then the other question is, if we're only putting a motion out there for the charges for putting it in the paper, that's not 19,000.
No, but if you're going to have, if you're going to start the bid, if you're going to bid for a project, you have to then you have to get the bid in. So that's the process.
So we don't,
You have to start, you're starting the bidding process for a project that's going to require a bid.
so,
There's another way to do it.
that's what, I need to confirm, that's right. All right, very good. So it's not only for the advertising, it's for the whole thing.
the whole thing.
I got it. All right, good enough. So that to say,
Not to exceed, our grant is 60,000, so not to exceed
No,
60,000.
no, no. Our cost to various is.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I want to write that down.
We're paying them up to 4,000 for the $45,000 grant. So this would pay them up to 1,000 to do the ad, 2,000. I don't know if there'll be other little things that they feel they need to do. I don't know if that's going to become a discussion or not. If a pole barn company comes in and puts the pole barn in and levels and does all that, I'm thinking, where do you need the engineering? I don't know.
well,
right.
Advertise the specs.
this is no site preparation or permits. So,
Well, that's in,
Is that in all
they're
of
not gonna build a pole barn that's not prepared. They'll prepare the ground to put this building on. They're not just gonna stick it on lopsided
who's
ground.
they?
Whoever gets the bid.
Whatever
Okay.
makes it good. I see what you mean. We need to put a dollar amount on the admin costs to start.
Well, why don't we say 4,000?
Yeah.
If Barry Isid feels it's more, he can come to us and tell us it's gonna be more and we decide on it.
All right.
Right? Is that,
I
that would be the correct way to do
right.
it, I would think.
Up to admin costs up to 4.
I was always thinking,
To write an advertisement,
But but I mean, we,
Well, don't they have to put it in a system? Barry Isid uses a computer system, they put that stuff in there.
well, they did need the pen bid. I don't know, do
No,
we need that for
pen-
this? It's so low.
I would say 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
okay.
If you give them more, if you give them, if you say 4, then
I'm happy with
I'm
any,
just saying.
yeah, I'm happy with any amount as long as we get it started. And
I'm not gonna tell them the amount, I would ask them what it would cost. You know, like I said, they seem to think that they should get some engineering fees for doing the ground, but that's when we were doing the sewer and the water and all that stuff. So since this came in so late, I haven't had a chance to say to them, what will this be? Since they got this grant for us, they kind of want to get something out of it, but if it's a simple pole barn, what do you give them? You know?
So admin cost at 2. All right, admin cost at 2.
and if it comes in higher,
We have to
Yeah.
we'll just
We'll
have to
talk.
revisit, that's all. Okay?
So I guess there's going to be a new motion for what?
I think it's just change of a motion from 4,000 to 2,000 for administrative costs.
The bid, your original motion is the same.
Pay up to $2,000 to pay Barry Isid for putting out to bid the pole barn
Yeah.
project.
Right.
All right,
So
go ahead.
I have nothing else.
All right,
I'll let the voting status here.
I got it. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I see it. As far as mine goes, I wanted to commend Mayor and Vice President Matt Dees on their on the Memorial Day service or our Memorial Day dedication and the new plaque that you guys did. Put in a lot of work, a lot of time. If you were there, if you attended the ceremony was really, really good, really, really heartfelt. And a lot of residents there that contributed and participated in. And thank you, you guys did it. And the other guy that did all that concrete work, I don't want to forget, you did a heck of a lot of work. And all the prep and all the setup and all the takedown. I'd like to thank the staff, including Mr. David Dearman for his photography and the pictures and everything. I mean, you guys make it, we're coming to work, and you guys did a phenomenal job. And really, it really came out good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I guess you guys know I'm on the rec board too. The pool, the Wilson pool is down. It probably will be down for the year because of some issues with leakage underneath, and they're not really sure of the understructure of it. And they did think it would cost them about $100,000 to fix the pool. So if you or your family did use the Muser pool, the city of Easton and Nazareth has offered their pools, and we would pay residential rates to use their pools. So if you're welcome to use the pool at Easton and the pool at Nazareth instead of using the Muser pool. I think the new Muser pool will be that they're going to do some work to it. They're talking about making a little water rides, like a slide, and some other things too. So they're going to take a $100,000 project and try to spend $1 million on it to make it like a small park like everybody else is doing around it. I think Palmer did something, and some other folks too. So we're able to use their pool if need be.
We still looking for somebody to be on the rec board?
No, I'm okay, but we are looking for somebody to take Leon's spot on his own board. And we are looking for a new council person who's good in property and comes to all the meetings. Is an astute, an outstanding citizen. Works for the city of Easton. I just throwing it.
We're looking for somebody we don't have anybody fill the vacancy board either. That came
And the
up.
vacancy board too.
Thank you,
So,
Brett. So just
Yeah.
so we're looking for some volunteers for some good community-minded citizens that want to step up and help out in our borough. We got a lot of things going on right now, and anybody's help would definitely be appreciated. So, if you know anybody out there, anybody that's good and strong. Henry was our property guy and roads, and nobody knew it better. So that's what we're looking for, someone for him.
And with that job, 99 cents in that job, let them know you have the job, you get a coffee at McDonald's.
You know what? You get a seat with your name on it. We should also do something for his dedicated service. All right, that's all I have. We have council roundtable. Anybody?
Yeah, I just want to bring up just something I've been noticing in the borough, just because my work schedule is very, I work 8 to 5 one day and then 3 to midnight the next, and it's constantly up and down, and something I want citizens to kind of keep an eye out for, just because, we do get some people that come into the borough and take advantage of us not having police, and there's 2 characters that are out there, a male and a female. I noticed them one morning, I was sitting on my porch, backpacks. Later on that night, when I was coming home from work, it was around 12:30 in the morning, spotted the same individual walking around 3rd and 2nd. Stopped to ask them for directions, and they didn't know the area. So just keep an eye out, just for safety precautions. You never know who could be walking around. So two characters, a male and a female. Male was about 5'10", dark hair, and woman was around 5'7", blonde hair. All different hours of the night. So, and
purchasing a lot, and he has training with the Palmer Township Police Department on his weapons schedule. And there was some kind of a holdup with Homeland Security, which I think he took care of. So I think we're moving ahead at a really fast pace now. I spoke with the mayor of Bangor. We're getting some furniture. They're moving to another building. Whatever they have to offer that is good, we're going to get some furniture off of them. We got 5 police radios from Palmer Township. So far, it doesn't cost us taxpayers a penny. 5 police radios and furniture.
Something else for the roundtable. I know there's been interest in a white car that covers itself up at night. For the last, I would say, more than a week, they're now up at Keystone and front. Yeah, I mean, it'll cause a problem. I just was walking by with my dog one day, and they were taking the cover off. It's called a car wash.
There you go. All right. Any more for the council roundtable?
One thing, I don't know if anybody heard, Saturday night, my neighbor was having a party, about 10:30, setting off some massive fireworks, aerial fireworks, real loud. This guy has a lot of parties outdoors. 12:30 at night, they're setting more aerial fireworks off, really loud. So I seen on the Facebook page of Wilson Borough, you have to get a permit to set these new fireworks off because they're permitted in Pennsylvania now. So I don't know if West Easton wants to do something like that or not, but I mean, 12:30 at night is kind of ridiculous to be setting these loud fireworks off. People are in bed.
Wasn't that driven by the constable though,
So,
that permit?
did I chime in?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we just went through this today about the new fireworks code. Yes, it is allowed, and it's to the municipal level of ordinances about noise. It's after our 11 o'clock, I don't know what it is for us. Yes, and we can call the authorities for noise. Other than that, they're allowed to use them only to the ability of our ordinances. So if it's within 150 feet of a dwelling, I'm not quite sure what our ordinance says. We'll have to look into that. So yes, Pete, you're right. They should not be doing it after ordinance hours or within the ordinance limits. We have to look into that and get the, I don't know who we're going to get. I don't know if the state police do that. Maybe you could just say, hey, Wilson, we're having a problem, can you come down? So maybe that's an issue, but we'll have to look into that next month.
We do have a noise ordinance. I believe it's 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 at night, but we can dig that noise ordinance out. It's on record.
Yeah. Do we have an ordinance
Right.
against fireworks?
Fireworks within, we'll have to look into that. If somebody would look into an ordinance, if we have a fireworks ordinance within so many feet of an establishment, then they shouldn't be doing it.
Bill McGarry
Came up.
sent me,
Sorry.
Bill McGarry sent me a list, I have it on the website and Facebook page of what the basics are for using them. I glanced at it, I don't know exactly what all was involved in it.
Maybe we'll post it to the legal committee.
Right, we'll have to get together and make sure we know what's going on before we do anything about whatever's going to happen in the next month.
Okay.
Ms. Lake, did you say someone issued a permit?
No, I thought the constable in Wilson was the driver of getting this permit for the fireworks.
Oh.
I know that's what Facebook said. Of course, I can't find the post.
Who was that that spoke?
Me, Desiree.
Oh, okay, so the permits are for the new establishments that were not allowed. permits, to have permits to sell the fireworks, commercial fireworks. Now, if they're not, and they are selling, they can be fined, they can get shut down, and this and that. We just went through this today in class, so I can express this a little bit. We don't have to have a permit to shoot them all. It's just allowed. So I can go up to there, as long as they're permitted, I can buy them from them, go in my yard, shoot them all, as long as it's according to our ordinance. That's the way it is.
Did Wilson say that people individually had to have one?
I'm sorry?
I thought that Wilson site had that the actual people in Wilson needed one, because they even have like sparklers, and they were like laughing about, yeah, who's gonna get one for sparklers?
No. Sparklers, that's not even not even part of the fireworks. If it goes in the air or it goes bang, that's a commercial fireworks. Sparklers are. So don't do anything with that. You can always bought that and use them. Now in Pennsylvania, if it goes up in the air or it goes bang, civilians are allowed to buy them and use them. So there you go. That's the law. Unless Steve knows otherwise.
Are you saying that they can't make them get a permit even if they're doing it in their own yard?
I remember reading something about that too.
Okay.
Well, Wilson said they would need a permit to shoot fireworks.
Right.
Yeah, it says here,
Okay, well that's Wilson.
Right. We don't have anything yet, but as a matter of comparison.
But I'm asking you, are you saying
Doesn't
that
matter.
it's illegal to do that?
If we don't have anything, we don't have anything. They do, so it doesn't matter for us.
No, I think if we're gonna do it, we would have to get an ordinance to limit or identify how fireworks are used. So you're essentially limiting a lawful use, which you can do.
Correct.
So the question would be then, is it just at certain times or certain occasions or whatever the case may be? That's all well and good. The problem is, by the time we actually imagine we had a police force, and imagine we could enforce all this, even if we enacted it today, we'd miss the summer anyway.
Correct, and it comes out to enforceability.
Well, no.
Sure.
The real issue is then, even if we had an ordinance today, we couldn't do anything with it anyway because we don't have a police force to enforce it.
Nobody enforces.
So maybe the best thing to do is let's take a look at this, see how this summer goes, and then plan for next summer, do it over the winter, and then you have a plan.
And we could always do, I don't know, we don't have a gas station, but we could enforce it. You can't do it within a mile of the gas station, or whatever. And that's the way it goes. So, it is what it is. We can't do anything right now. We have to deal with it this year, go about it for the next, because it's 2 times a year they can sell the tents. I don't know which ones, I know it's 4th of July or something else.
Beginning of New Year's.
New Year, yeah.
Oh, New Year's, there you go. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, that's what I learned of it, so it's great.
Yeah, I think we'll shoot this illegal.
Paul,
Yes,
I
sir.
got the Pennsylvania fireworks from the Pennsylvania State Police.
All right.
Tells you all about it here.
Can you send that to me then, Pete? And we'll
It's
throw
on
that.
Facebook.
All right.
Okay.
We'll send that to the.
They cannot be discharged within 150 feet of an occupied structure. Display fireworks which are classified as professional grade aerial shells containing more than 60 grams of pyrotechnic compositions are still only to be used by professionals with a permit from the municipality where the display will take place. Consumers can now purchase and use Class D or consumer-grade fireworks that include firecrackers, Roman candles, bottle rockets, and similar fireworks that contain a maximum of 50 milligrams of explosive material. The expansion includes those fireworks that were previously only available to out-of-state residents.
We'll take that.
That's from the Pennsylvania State Police, that's not Wilsonburg.
Okay. All right.
And Desiree, that did come from the Wilsonburg State Constable's office about the permit.
I think maybe if more cases arise, we can look more into this.
All right. That's good.
So I know my neighbor definitely lives less than 150 feet from the person that was shooting them off.
Definitely going to address it. Anything else for the round table? Let's go to committee reports. We'll start with the finance committee.
We already went through the finance thing. I have nothing else.
Okay. Property highway, we're trying to fill that position. Does, do we have anything else from property highway? Pete or Matt?
And no meeting.
Okay. Would you? Public safety personnel?
We met to review some personnel items, and I'd like to schedule another meeting. Fortunately, my schedule is not giving this week. I could meet next week. I can meet on Tuesday the 19th at 6:30.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
It's public safety.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm off for the summer anytime you want.
Is it, I'm working late hours, so it's 6:30?
Sure.
Okay.
What day was that?
That's a Tuesday?
Tuesday the 19th?
19th, yes.
Desiree, are you doing public safety at one time and personnel at another, or?
I'm just doing personnel
Okay,
right now. I'll schedule a public safety meeting in July.
okay, thank you.
So, you're on the legal, you and Jeff, so. You and Jeff. Would you entertain something after that?
What day?
No, you're not.
Legal?
I am. Oh,
We haven't had a meeting yet, so.
no, that's all. After that, sure.
Yeah,
What was
7
the date again?
PM,
The 19th.
the 19th. You.
I have a 6:30. My meeting will last more than that. Seven?
7 PM, the 19th. Okay.
Can I throw in here, if you don't have a second meeting, the next meeting will be July 9th. Sewer bills should go out that Friday, so if anybody has anything they want in the newsletter, have it ready for the next.
Okay.
Well, when is that going on?
But they're supposed to go out the 15th and try to get up the Friday before up to the 13th.
So you need something by the 13th if we want to put
No,
something.
the 9th.
The 9th, okay.
July.
The 9th of July.
Yes.
Everybody, good, good? Any input to the newsletter, 9th of July?
I think we're gonna have National Night Out listed in it. I just found out that the property rebate for seniors and handicapped people has been extended for the whole year instead of ending in June. I'm sure get that in there. Whatever people come up with.
We're still looking for something.
Right.
Vacancy board. All right,
So
go ahead.
we have, are we talking about newsletter now?
Yes.
Okay, so I remember we did a resolution or policy that we can have people advertise on our newsletter. And up to this date, I don't see any advertisements on our newsletter.
Correct.
So I'm just putting out this committee.
All right. It's on our agenda. Utilities committee?
We have our meeting on May the 29th. We sent the Arrow Group our sewer and water usage information after our previous meeting. And as of the meeting on May the 29th, we hadn't received a proposal from them yet. We'll update as we hear from the Arrow Group. And as far as scheduling a meeting, Paul, you and Bob, how's June 27th look, or 28th?
27th, June 27th? No,
That good? No, 28th?
about another week. I'm on vacation.
Okay, you want to go the first week of July? Or you want to go the week of the 18th?
Yeah, about the week of the 18th.
About the 19th?
We're already
You
here.
have meetings at 6:30 and 7 o'clock.
Oh,
at night.
okay. how about the 20th?
Yeah.
Bob, is the 20th good for you, 20th of June?
June 20, Bob, for utilities. 6:30. Bob?
Is he still connected?
Yeah, still on. Bob?
I'm sorry, no, I'm here. Because I put you on mute because there's noise here, so
That's
I
it.
don't
All right,
want
sorry.
background noise.
June
So,
20.
hold on. I'm checking my schedule.
All right.
I have it. And then on that date is, I'm clear right now.
All right.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. on the 20th, got it.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
on the 20th.
Okay. Recreation, Jim?
The next event, like Jim said, is National Night Out, August 7th. Right now, I just talked with Dan and June. We're just gonna get some of those donations in. Should be another good event. Hopefully, we get more people from the community out. I don't need to schedule a meeting until we get a little bit more. I think it's gonna be a good one this year. So if you guys want to mark that down on your calendar, hopefully everyone can make it.
So the date one more time?
August 7th, that's 6.
Second.
7th.
7, here.
And it's the first
I thought it was the first Tuesday.
It is the first Tuesday, it's August 7th. Last year was
Oh,
August
okay,
1st.
I got the wrong
6
one.
p.m.
Right.
And we have the borough registered with the National Association for that now, that today also.
Excellent. Thanks, Jeff. Grant committee.
We didn't meet. I don't think we have to set up another meeting. I really don't see anything to go after right now with grants, but I do want to give Joan here some kudos and recognition because she's been working on the recycling grant for bins and stuff, and she hit a couple of snags, and she's nice enough to send me an email telling me how she took care of it. So I appreciate that, and she's been following up. You know, if I'm not clear on this, it's just because I'm charged with the grant committee. This lady here does all the legwork when it comes to that stuff.
How
Thank
was-
you,
how was Dan on that now?
The last letter I sent them supposedly covers everything they need from us. But what did they tell you when we were down that? It could be like 6 months before here.
Oh, yeah, we probably won't hear till next year.
Yeah.
You know, but it takes that long.
Everything's still here.
Government.
But they do what they want.
Thanks, Joe.
That's excellent. Okay, good. I'm unfinished, any unfinished business. I guess we're stand on Delta.
They got a continuance till July
27th.
27th.
Okay.
He promised me he'd have it done by the 9th, before we take any continuance to the 27th.
Okay. Any more? New business?
Yeah, our new hire. I know the ordinance says 10. Hunter was making 11, and I really think to be competitive, we're at 11 with Hunter. I'd like to make a motion to give this new guy 11.
I second it.
Any discussion?
No, I think we should follow a process.
Absolutely. Excellent. Good. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Me, I.
No. Okay.
Good job.
Okay. So we have a 5 more.
Okay, that's what I had.
Okay. Any other new business? I wanted to point out, I think I talked to you a little bit about this last week. The Hubcap store, it seems like they're getting a lot more trailers in there and a lot more stuff. I think we really need to kind of actively go after these guys. I've had discussions with Sean, who takes care of the tires, and he's really genuine about making a go of the business, but he says his father is putting parking trailers and hoarding a lot of stuff. I think we really need to get active and get on them and try to figure out what's our best course of action. I don't know if you can help us with that, or give us any advice on that. With regard to your hubcap store and the stuff is my concern is that it's a safety hazard now, because the fire chief says if there's a fire in there, they can't approach it because there's no way to get in and there's no way for them to access the building. The building is packed with stuff along with all the stuff outside, and then there's a lot of trailers that are parked back there too. So I'm not sure what else we can do besides fines.
Was that, I'm sorry,
Hubcap store.
right, but was that the question, you were questioning the solicitor to give you the information?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I heard, yeah, so, all right, I'll wait for the response.
I think the first thing to do is we should again send our code enforcement guy. And I know we've tried that before.
Okay.
But at least it builds the record again as to what he's doing and what he's not, and then we can go ahead and do enforcement if we have to. And bring it before a judge and everything else, but at least we should, my suggestion would be, if that's a concern of council, authorize the code enforcement officer to go down and cite.
Right, like I said, the sister applied for zoning for her bike shop, did fill in half the stuff out, he gave it back to her, that's the last I heard of it, that's been several weeks. DEP, he wrote months ago, he asked for a 30-day extension, DEP gave him a 30-day extension, I've heard nothing since then. So, stuff we can look into, getting DEP to get back to you can take weeks just to have a simple email, even though I'm obnoxious.
And Joe also mentioned to me while John was out that the last time he went down there, they now have no admittance signs posted, so he cannot come on the property unless he's invited onto the property.
No admittance on a business?
Yeah, they have no admittance signs. That's what he told me.
Well, I know Joe said he has to be invited now, but
Yeah.
I didn't know they had no admittance.
Does the fire chief can go, is there such a thing as a state fire marshal or something that he can go to?
He hasn't been there. He said he doesn't want to. He wasn't really excited about going through there. He did do a fire walkthrough.
Is there a state fire marshal?
You know, our code enforcer could walk the floor and to see if it's, you know, within code. I think that's
They
what.
say he can only go if he's invited now,
Okay.
which might mean he's not going to be allowed
So we
in.
need to get him invited.
Or you get it, or the next step is you get what's known as an administrative warrant, if it comes to that.
So start with Joe again, see what he can do.
So he can make an appointment, and if he's denied,
No.
then
Then,
Make the next step.
and that's administrative work?
Yeah, you go to the local district justice again, it's rarely done,
Right,
but
okay.
We should be able to get. Sean should be able, should allow him to come.
I think he should, but if they're getting.
If they put up those no admittance signs, he probably realizes that once they're up, he can't get on the property. I told, you know, this kind of upsets me, but I told you, Mr. James, a while back, that this is Sean. He comes across real sincere, and everything's his dad's fault and his sister's fault, and he gives you smoke up your butt, and he does whatever he wants down there.
He said he's moving out.
And the only way you're gonna get him to comply, and it's gonna be expensive, is to cite him every day for violations, get administrative warrants every day. Because this town down there, especially in that business district, I call it the business district, they do whatever they want down there. It's their own West Easton. Everybody down there puts up a building. They weld it together and then sell it to somebody. They don't check with the office. It's like the Wild West down there.
Like, we need to get.
Well, that's how we got rid of, you're talking about sunshine?
Yeah.
That's how we got rid of them. We asked Joe what he could do, and he said, I can cite them every day, and I said, cite them every day. And then Sunshine came up and said, how do we get rid of this? It's getting cited every day. I said, what does the citation say? Take down the building, then take down the building. And he took down the building, but that's what it took, going after.
There you go.
That's all.
And the problem we have too with Sean is the business is in his dad's name. So it's that awkward, doesn't matter what Sean says, John's the one who owns the property.
We still need to check it. So.
The only thing if you're still on that?
But no, I was just gonna say, this is something for the public to understand. I just know it's coming. When we get a police department, I think the public's gonna get upset when, you know, abandoned cars are towed and people are cited for things that, and we're gonna have people down here telling us they did this for years. I know it's coming.
Yeah,
You know,
it'll be nice.
and then everybody will be upset that we have a police department.
The only thing I forgot to mention is there are 6 more mitigation meetings, and the next one is June 21st. Pete? And this one's at 3 o'clock. They keep changing 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one's at 3. That's all.
But I need to ask a question.
Okay, raise your hand.
I asked 2 meetings ago if I could get the schedule, and if the schedule could get put out to everybody of when these are going to happen. I haven't got an email of that.
Pete, you have a clean one? Mine's all marked up.
There's one in the office. I'll make sure you get it, Bob. I'll
Thank you.
scan it and
Thank you.
send it.
Any other new business?
And I'm sorry, Dean, where did you say that meeting was?
21st, which is actually Thursday
Yeah,
at 3 o'clock. Best Western.
Best Western.
Yeah,
That's the only one that changed.
and the rest of
The
it.
rest of them are billing for hospital.
Well, if one of you wants a relief, since, you know, I'm unemployed in the summertime, I can actually make the meeting if one of you guys wants a break.
Yeah, how about August 16th?
August 16th? Well, now I've got a summer run August 16th. But I can make the next one, is what I'm offering, if you want.
The 21st?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
We
start.
can all put together, right?
Huh?
We can all put together.
Yeah, I mean, are we limited to 2 people, or you?
No, they have plenty of seats. They were just worried about one representative to represent the community because they thought they'd run out of seats, but they don't run out of seats.
Anybody can go, except for it's mandatory that somebody goes.
Right.
Well, will you let me know when it happens, when you call Dave and the time?
All right, we don't need a second executive session, but I want to open it up and see if the public has any more comment before we're done. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, about 100 Spring Street, 25. Just a question on that sidewalk, that's going up Spring, is that turn also if they go up Iron, under that trestle?
That's been asked before, if you don't mind. Iron Street is a state road, so we have to get the DEP involved in that, and that's kind of the thing.
It's already narrow, and if people walk through there, the cars are flying both ways.
Yeah, they require different depths. We look into this, different depths of sidewalk and distance from the road, and yeah, it's more permits. Eventually, we hope to one day address that, but not this time around.
Anyone else? Sir?
Just one comment. I mentioned before about the trucks up on the street. One of them is gone, so anybody was responsible for getting rid of the one, that's great.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Name, sir, just name and address for the record. That's
Oh,
all.
Cruz Lada, 819 Ridge.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
One of your neighbors called and let us know that one was moved, and the joke in the office was, okay, where in the borough did it get moved?
well, yeah.
There you go.
It'll show up someplace again.
We'll make progress.
Yeah.
Name of the, you can find it anywhere, right?
I'm trying to say it. I think it's going for good, hopefully.
That's correct.
We also need to state the rule of cars parking at intersections, at corners. What's the setback on that? I thought it was 20 feet.
Well, it depends on if they have an intersection or not. Or a crosswalk. Intersections are 20 feet, crosswalks are 30 feet.
There's a car in the borough's parking on the sidewalk.
Now, first of all, you don't have to mark, that's only convenience for citizens. So therefore, when you went to get your license, you should have known not to park 20 or 30 or 15 from a fire hydrant. So we're only doing a service to the community for paving lines. We're actually wasting money.
Well, we can paint the intersections yellow.
We can, as a convenience, we don't have to.
Did you have something?
Yes, I do. Bruce Walter, 415 9th Street. First, there's a Mustang that parks on the corner of 10th and Center every weekend, right in a handicap ramp, and parks across the entire handicap ramp under the street light. It's dark blue. That's definitely a violation of what you people are talking about.
Well, which way do they face? Toward the intersection or away from the intersection?
They're parking right across the very corner of the apex of the intersection, blocking a handicap ramp and everything, Mr. Lewis. It happens every weekend. He must be an out-of-town person that comes here and parks at a friend's house.
Mike and Rich too.
Good to know. Okay?
Secondly,
as soon as we can, we'll look into that.
Thank you.
I can say this, if you're,
secondly,
and he's out-of-state person?
no, I just think he comes to visit someone on weekends because it's always there.
But,
And that's at 10th and Center Street, sir.
If he's licensed in Pennsylvania, he knows enough, he should know not to park within 20 feet of the stop sign or 30 feet from the intersection, and 15 from the fire hydrant. So, therefore, he's facing it. If the intersection is behind him, he doesn't have, that's not the rule. So, I just worked in this court, so it doesn't matter. If that's what it is, that's what it is. So when we look into it, we'll look into it. We can't look into it now because, here we are. We're stuck. We're into the verge of doing something good, and everybody wants it right now. We can't have it right now.
Yes, sir. Another point that I'd like council to realize is that you were bid for the pole barn. The statement was made that it's just a standard pole barn, you don't need engineering. They will not even lay out where the four corners of your pole barn are going to be, or check level or anything like that. So you may need engineering in order to get that properly installed and make sure everything's square and the ground level is. I've seen several pole buildings installed, and I've seen the engineering involved in installing them.
Okay.
That's just something for council to know.
That's
Oh, that's absolute. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And we can talk about that later if anybody wants
okay.
advice.
That's some good stuff. You should really be
I don't like getting on that.
You should be a next council.
Okay. Thank you. Is that it, Bruce? You got it?
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
I'm done. Thank you. I just wanted you to know that I've seen the engineering for the layout and everything. And it also takes into stormwater runoff into account where you put your downspouts. So it's not just a standard pole barn. There are some things that need to be looked at.
So do you want me to do that motion to raise the amount or no? Because if you don't have a second meeting, it's going to have to wait till the beginning.
You wanted it to advertise.
Right.
Well, that should be maybe part of the advertisement.
But they're not going to do engineering in and out for $2,000.
Well,
That's something they can discuss.
whoever puts up a building, they should.
No, they don't.
No, that's a part of Barry Ising's engineering.
That's an engineering thing, not a contractor installing the whole building, sir.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
can't Barry Isaac come back to us and then tell us the amount of damage?
Yeah, we just want to get the advertising out there, he can always come back with engineering.
I thought that was the original thing.
That's, yeah, a money, an amount is just put on there to get this thing rolling.
Anything else?
Just one question on the advertising, if we went very nice to do it, are you specifying to them where they advertise? Because I know they prefer pen link, and I know when Henry was here, he thought that it was best to put it out in the newspapers also.
Well, it's free to advertise Penley, right?
And
And bid.
Well, we had that discussion with the engineers about the last.
We have, we have to agree to put out for pen bid, or we have to put out into a, local circulation paper.
That's what we decided to do.
Well, I mean, as long as we decide to do that, that's all we have to do.
I thought we decided to put it out for pen bid, but we would make the actual specs available if somebody walked in. I thought that's what we discussed.
You mean last time?
Yeah.
We have to, Steve, can we do that?
Well, sure, as long as it's on pen bid. The question, I think David's question is, where do you guys want it? You know, do you want it just on pen bid, or do you want it in the paper, or do you want it like you did last time? It's an excellent question. Just a question, you know, let's give the guys some direction.
Why don't we, can we use them both?
Yeah, so, okay, so why is that? Let's do something with it.
More expensive to advertise.
Did you know about,
Yeah, it'd be more expensive, and from what I understood from when Tug was here, with the last project that they put out, is that they would also have to have packets ready for people who would be getting it through the newspaper. And I know when Henry was here, his concern was these smaller companies don't use, is it Pen Bid or Pen Link?
Pen bid.
That don't use Pen Bid, and he wanted it available to, make it available to everybody that could possibly be interested.
Well, the reason why he said that is because on pen bid, they had to print out 137 pages of information.
180.
180? That's even worse.
Right.
So we just have a PDF file, and if someone needs it, we send them an email. We don't have to print everything out.
Right. Well, pen bid didn't work that way.
Well, since this is a small amount, should we just stick to the local newspaper then?
Now he's lost them.
And,
Already started.
So what's a consensus then?
just
Local
put it in the local paper,
Local
and
ad.
we could even send out notices directly to the ones that we know of, make sure
Okay.
that they see it.
There you go.
Okay.
Very good. I'm sorry, Leon, did you?
Yes, on the hubcap store.
Yes,
You
sir.
were on that meeting, so was I.
Yes.
Now, everything that's said, word for word, the stenographer types it down.
Yeah.
All right. Now, she sends a manuscript to the borough. Now, in that manuscript, I asked the question, how many trailers are you going to have there? His words were 4 at the most, and that was because he wanted to take parts to, like, Makunji, different places.
Right.
That's the only reason he
We
was going
got
to
you.
have them there.
Thank you.
All right? Now, where's that paperwork? We got a copy here. Where'd it go?
Leon, wait a minute. We went over this, we must have went over this 6 times. That was just a letter from him personally. Whatever was written into the decision from the zoning board, they didn't even mention the trailers. That's how he's getting around this thing.
No, I asked the question at the zoning board.
It wasn't written in the decision.
When the solicitor put it together, he didn't have anything about trailers. We just approved their use, conditional use to use that as hubcaps or do the tires, and that was it.
It was like what Matt said. He'll say one thing, and then write a letter.
I understand that.
Everything will be
Thank you
fine.
very much. We understand.
All right.
So that's that.
Anything else?
Mr. Smith, you have anything?
No.
Oh, really? Bill, you have anything to
No, nothing at all.
All right, thank you.
I did tell a lot of guys you're gonna have trouble with the hubcap store because Easton tried to get them out.
So did Wilson.
Yeah.
Good enough, thank you.
Well, the only reason why they left in Houston is because Lafayette bought that route.
Now they condemned the building.
And that's how it is.
My problem is, sir, though, there's a
Okay,
chemical
who was
place in
that?
Easton at the end of Main Street. Smith. Addison Street. And that's pretty close there. If there's a fire,
It's,
and if you were in there, I was in there twice, and it is really, really dangerous.
I don't know who's talking.
Mr. Smith.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Okay, great.
Now he's down there selling tires.
he was,
That's-
that was their use though.
That was Trudy.
That's what they were approved for. They were approved for hubcaps and
And
tires.
tires?
Yes.
But not bicycles.
They were applied for,
Not stone. not
permit to sell bicycles.
Bicycles have to be on the tires.
Bikes have tires, right.
Please, you can't feel a whole ordinance to her about his acceptance of this business, because there's more involved in that, so go ahead, yes.
Anything else?
Maybe we could mow the dead cars in the streets.
There's no room. If there's nothing else, we are not having a second meeting on June the 25th. The next meeting is July the 9th. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll second it. Thank you very much.
All right.